All right, welcome to the Zotero tutorial part 2. You should have already installed Zotero before you watch this video. You should have joined Zotero, you should have installed it in your Firefox browser, and you should have shared your username with us on D2L and waited for us to add you to a group. All right, once you've done that, if you open up Firefox and you click the Z, and this will be installed if the Zotero plugin is installed, it brings up the Zotero application. It might show up in the half screen mode, and again recommend that you use the full screen mode. Now I have a lot of stuff in my version of Zotero, obviously because I've been using it for a while. My full library has 1,000 or more, I don't know how many items in it, lots of items. And then I'm also part of group libraries, and this is the shared feature. So we're going to be working with this first group, and this is the one that I'm going to be adding, Tiffany or I will be adding you to. Right now it says co-teaching. I'm going to try to get that changed to practice, something with the word practice in it. But whether it gets changed or not, it's going to be, you're going to have a group library that you belong to. I have 4 items in it now. I'm going to add a couple more during this tutorial, and you'll be able to see these. You'll be able to add stuff to it, and I will be able to see it, and anybody else in the class who has joined the group will be able to see what you do as well. Right? So in this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to find articles, download them, add notes, add tags, etc. And then you're going to pause the video at many points and do the stuff that I've demonstrated. And it'll all be shared and we'll all see it together, right? So this is the part that is going to take a while. In the last video I said it's going to take 20 minutes of video time. Well, the first video took 13 minutes and that was just the introduction. So the video could be very long, but again, you're going to pause it at many different points. All right. So we've done this, and now I want to talk a little bit about the interface. I already showed you a little bit about how the window works, either half window or full window. I want to show you the different areas for different items in the window, how to open and close and expand items. Right? So first of all, here's what Zotero looks like. It comes in 3 columns. The first column is a list of all your folders and groups that you belong to. The second column is all the individual items that are in Zotero. These are references to books, journal articles, web pages, etc. And the third column has all these different tools that you can use to organize the things that are in the middle. All right? The middle items are called parents and children. So I have a parent item here. It's a journal article with a lot of citation information and 3 notes that I took about this article. I also have the original PDF, and if I double click that, I can read the PDF or copy and paste from, do different things with it. So already you see you have a nice system here where you have the citation, the original article, and notes all in one place. I can open and close these parents. Or I can't show you this on the video, but I can tell you that if you click in this pane and click the plus button on your keyboard, it opens all of them at once. If you click the minus key, it will close them all. In the right-hand side, these are things you can do with the parents. You can see the info, including the abstract. There's the full abstract. You can take notes, so these are the 3 notes I've already created, or I could add more. Or I can do something called tagging, which I'm going to show you later in this video. And this is a more advanced feature that we're not going to use in this course. Right? One other part about the interface that really is easy to miss is this tag area. Now I've only got 1 tag in here now, so I don't need a lot of space for this. But there's a little button right there that if I click it, I can expand or make smaller this area for tags, so I can choose how big I want each of these 2 areas, but it's really easy to miss that. Right? In the interface, these are the preferences. We've done that in the other tutorial. This is creating a new note, so you can create a new note here or you can do it here. Now I can add a child note to this parent, or I can make a new standalone note. Let's say I don't want to make a comment about the article, but I want to make a note that's important for the group. Let's think about a theme of teaching and learning. Big theme, but okay, that's my note, right? Now, we'll do this more later, but I just want to give you the idea that I can also control-click specific items, or I can shift-click to select a number of items at once. Once I've selected items, I can create a bibliography, and I get all these different choices of which format I want my bibliography to be in. I've already got it set to APA 6th edition. And I'm going to save it to my clipboard, which means that I've now created a reference list that, if I open up a Word document, I can paste, and I've got these 4 references. Well, that didn't save me a lot of work, but if I had 100 references in there, I could create a reference list very quickly. And of course, you're going to end up in your groups with 40, 60, 100 articles in Zotero, but you're not going to use all of them. You might end up using 20, 30 of them. And we're going to create systems where you can just select the ones that you're using and quickly create a reference list from that. All right, so those are the basic interface items I wanted to point out. Actually, there is one more, and that's this button right here. That's the sync button. Zotero is saving your work on a server in the cloud, and if you click the sync button, it will make sure that your version that is stored on your computer is synced up with that. You should have your preferences set to automatic sync, but sometimes you kind of have to force it to sync, especially if you're working collaboratively with other people in a group. They might do something, and they might be talking to you on the phone or through a hang up and say, well, I added this, and you'll say, well, I don't see it, but maybe both of you have to sync before you will see what each other has done. All right, so that's the interface. All right, we're going to try to add 6 full text sources to the practice. So you're going to get to EBSCOhost in the Millersville Library. So let's get you started with how to do that. I'm already in here, but let me start from scratch. So I'm going to get to the Millersville website, and you could go to either the current students or the faculty and staff, and there's a nice quick link to the library here. And once I get into the library, I'm going to type in my topic. You can see I've already typed it in a couple times. And I'm right in, because I'm here at Millersville while I'm making this. But you are going to have to log in if you're doing this from home. And it's the same username and password that you use to get into D2L. Right? So in this particular example, I'm going to want to have full text citations because that's part of what I want you to get. I want you to use scholarly peer-reviewed journals for this example. That isn't something you necessarily have to pick when you're doing other work. And, okay, we see all these different possible citations. All right? What I want to do is get these loaded into Zotero. When Zotero is working and you're on a website that Zotero recognizes, you'll get an icon here that allows you to save items to Zotero. If I click this, it shows me all the citations that are on this page. So the first one is Transferring Educational Theories, the implementation of co-teaching, etc. And see, that's what I've got here. I want to add one of these items to Zotero. Let's see here. The implementation of co-teaching technology into learning processes. Let's see if that's one I already have. No, it isn't. So let's see if I can add this one. All right. Now, if I click this, it's going to be there in the list, and I can add it to Zotero. I could also select all and add 50 at once, which is really crazy, because I want to be more selective than that. But you can see the power of it. You could actually create a library of 1,000 citations in a matter of an hour to Zotero because of how powerful it is. But I'm just going to add this one. Right, and you get a little message here that says it's being saved, and there it is. Okay, and it's highlighted because it's the one I've recently added. Now, one thing you're going to not like about Zotero and EBSCO is that it doesn't automatically add the PDF even when it's there. Right? So I'm going to ask you to go into EBSCOhost and add citations just like I'm doing here, but you're going to run into this problem where you don't get the PDF. Right? So this is what you're going to have to do, because it is going to be a requirement of this tutorial that you get 6 citations here, and each of them I want to have a PDF associated with it. All right, so what you got to do is go to the actual PDF and click the download button that goes with the PDF. Now, there are lots of different ways that you might get PDF downloads. Not all of them are, in EBSCOhost. You might do an interlibrary loan and get the PDF. So one thing you can do is save the file. You can save it to your desktop. I'm going to show you in a second how to save it directly to Zotero, but you can save a file to your desktop or somewhere else, downloads, let's say. And you can drag that document right into Zotero. Let me show you a different view of that. So here's my downloads. Right, that's the actual document right there. Let's see if I can drag it into Zotero. I'm going to have to move this off the screen a little bit. All right, and I'm dragging the PDF over on top of that parent. So then it becomes a child of the parent. Let's see if that is the same PDF. All right, it is. Now notice it did a nice thing there. It named the PDF appropriately for me. Sometimes it'll do that, sometimes it won't. Going back to, let's see, where is it? All right. I could have done this a different way. I could have clicked the download button, and I could save to Zotero. Right? And you want to click this retrieve metadata for PDF. Or let's actually not do it. Right. So now it's going to save the PDF directly to Zotero instead of downloading it, saving it on your computer, and dragging it in. But you're going to see that there's a disadvantage to this too. It just downloaded it right here. You can't really tell because it has this generic name, but that is the same PDF. All right. So then I'm going to have to drag this over on top of the right citation. I don't want to get it mixed up with the wrong one. And now I've got it in there a second way. I'm going to remove this one because I don't want to have a duplicate. Now notice it has this weird name. I can fix that most of the time by saying rename file from parent metadata. Right? And it named the file appropriately. Right? So what I've showed you and what I want you to do, and this is probably a good time to pause the video, is go into EBSCOhost through the McNary library using the topic that you've been assigned and download let's say three articles and get them into Zotero, into the practice folder, into the co-teaching folder, along with PDF full text. One thing I forgot to show you is that the reason these citations and PDFs have been coming into Zotero is because I had this selected. If you have your My Library selected, which might be the default when you start, it's going to go into My Library. I want you to be saving this stuff into this folder here, the shared folder. So you're going to want to be in that group library with that selected before you download. Okay, so what you do now is pause the video, try to get 3 citations related to your topic that you've been assigned into Zotero, into the shared folder, and get the full PDFs.